to pick cotton and do a lot of hard work for nothing. Um, they were they brought an instrument. They actually probably did not bring it with them, but they made some while they after they moved here. They made them out of gourds. So I actually have a gourd banjo here. It's called a banza at the time. There were a lot of names for this instrument before it really took off. Thomas Jefferson mentioned that something about a banjar. And my mother was born in the 1930s, and she, till the day she died, she called it a banjer. And so it was real similar. It was like they called it banjer, banjar, banza, banza, whatever. So here's an example of a banza right. So this is nylon strings, no frets, to make to know where to put your fingers. So you just have to figure it out. And the strings were animal gut strings, probably cat. Is what we always think of. So I try to keep this away from my cat, but he might tear it up. But this is gourd, and so they just so. I'm not going to try to play a song because it's not very musical. I made this from a kid. So that's a gourd banjo or a banza, kind of an unusual thing. You don't see a banza or a gourd banjo every day. So yeah. So there's this fella from Appomattox, Virginia, named Joel Sweeney, and he was so fascinated with this, and he started hanging around the slave quarters around Appomattox at one of the plantations there. And he started asking questions like, what is this thing you guys are playing? And how do you play it? And so he learned how to play it. And he went home. Let me see if I can find, I've just got some pictures up here. This is Joel Sweeney. He took the idea and he went home and started making his own banjo. And he used a cheese box. So cheese, sometimes you've seen hoop cheese, right? Comes in a big round hoop. And so it comes in a box, a wooden box. And so he took a cheese box and made it like this. And I just dropped my mic. So that's my banjo mic. Hang on one second. Sound man's nightmare. Okay, so anyway, then he started learning some of the songs. They were writing songs in English, and it's incredible. And this is in the 1830s, and so he took it up to New York. And here's the not controversial, it's despicable thing that he did. He decided to mimic the black people on the plantations. And so he took burnt cork and rubbed it all over his face. And he went up to New York City and sang and played this banjo, new instrument nobody ever seen before. Like, what is this? This is exotic. And here's this guy who's obviously white, but he's pretending to be this slave, and he's singing, and he's wearing a tuxedo, and he's wearing, and he's singing these songs that we've never heard before. And it was a massive hit. I mean, he just became very popular. And this swept the country. Oddly enough, for 50 years, this was the main form of entertainment. So I'm going to show you an offensive picture. I'm going to kind of breeze by of him dressed in his outfit. This is actually a photo. Well, that's actually a buddy of his who taught him how to play banjo, and he went on to play for Barnum and Bailey Circus. So in minstrel costume. So there's Joel Sweeney. I apologize in advance for showing you this. It's really, it's unbelievable. And so he got this plaque. Oh, he was already dead when this came out, but in Virginia, they put up a plaque and they said, hey, Joel Sweeney popularized the banjo. And that's true. but it didn't give any credit to the banjo players who taught him how to play. And so all these songs that you've heard, Old Joe Clark, you may not recognize his titles, but you've probably heard them. There was a song called Cotton Eye Joe they did it kind of disco back several years ago, and it came out, it was like a dance tune, Cotton Eye Joe, Cotton Eye Joe. And so these are songs that came from the black banjo players and songwriters on plantations down in the South that were uncredited. You know, they never got credit for this. So in 2015, ta-da, they finally credited them. And so they put up a plaque honoring the black banjo players. And so at least we're trying, right? And yeah, so I'm gonna play a song. This is just an instrumental called Hop High Ladies. And this is one of the songs that came from that time period, probably 1800, early 1800. Oops, sorry. I'm in the wrong tuning. That's the problem. So this is the thing with bad banjos, you gotta change the tuning. So if you throw a banjo player and a fiddle player off the top of a building, the fiddle player will land first because the banjo player had to stop and retune. So that's a true story. Let's hope not. That was a joke, by the way. I was just checking. Not a good one. Damn. So I'm playing in a certain style. It's called, we call it claw hammer. That's not like bluegrass. Bluegrass, you use picks and you pluck the strings like this. With claw hammer, you're actually I'm hitting it with my fingernail on my index finger, and then my thumb is catching the top string. So that's that little ding, ding. And a lot of instruments in Europe actually had a top string that was shorter, and it's called a chanterelle, which is a French word. And but when they came over from Africa and were making their own banzas or banjos, they had a short top string. And so it's interesting. Some people tried to credit Joel Sweeney with that. And he said, no, I didn't do that. It was like that. And so historians have figured that out. But there's a book that came out in the 1850s, and people just like wanted, all over the country, wanted to play this instrument. And so banjo manufacturers came about and everything. It was pretty crazy. And what that book, I got a copy of it, I need to bring it. It's in that bag, but anyway, it describes claw hammer banjo, and this is basically what the black banjo players were teaching white people how to do. And so, and it survives to this day, and here we are. I love playing claw hammer. I can't play bluegrass banjo, so. So that's claw hammer banjo. And all right. So let me show you a couple more things real quick, and then I'm going to play some music with my guitar. I'm a little more accomplished on the guitar. I love the banjo, but so in 2005 or so, this interesting thing happened. 3 people of color in North Carolina got together and said, you know, this is our heritage. And they put a band together, a trio. They called themselves the Carolina Chocolate Drops, which was quite a provocative name, right? And they found this fiddler who's still alive. He was, I think, in his 90s, And they, in Mebane, North Carolina, Thompson, Bill Thompson, I believe is his name, and he taught them some old fiddle tunes from the early 1900s that he had learned from black musicians back in who went back to slave times, and so they got it kind of the old-fashioned way, you know, from somebody who had played in dances in the early 1900s, and Bill Thompson taught them some stuff, and so they won a Grammy in 2010, which is pretty incredible, isn't it? That's just awesome. And they were really something. So they broke up shortly after this, but they had a good little run. They were the Carolina Chocolate Drops for a while. The gal is a phenomenal musician. If you get nothing else out of today, check out Rhiannon Giddens. She is unbelievable. I've seen her perform 2 or 3 times. She's has a degree in opera from Oberlin College. She plays amazing clawhammer banjo on vintage type instruments. She's a great fiddle player and songwriter, and she just won a MacArthur Genius Grant. There she is. She's also very, very attractive young lady, and she's really talented. I just love her voice. I love she's an educator. She teaches, she talks about what I'm talking about today. I stole a lot that I learned today from Rhiannon. And her other bandmate is Don Flemons, and he's quite an entertaining guy. He plays this thing called the bones. And I've got some I started to bring them, but I'm not good at it yet. So you put these 2 sticks in your hand, they clickety-clack. It's really hard to do. So he's quite an entertainer. There he is in front of the 2 signs, the Joel Sweeney sign and the African American banjoist sign. So, and now Rhiannon has inspired other female black performers. This is another one, Amethyst Kia. I saw her last year at Merle Fest, which used to be an all-white bluegrass folk music festival in North Carolina. And now people of color playing Americana music. I just love it. I think it's so cool. And so she's got a powerful voice. She's a good banjo player. She's a good guitar player. She's a good songwriter. So anyway, I just wanted to share. Yeah, these are some songs. Turkey in the Straw, Arkansas Traveler, Old Dan Tucker, Hop High Ladies is what I was just playing. Sally Gooden. These are a lot of old bluegrass songs, and they were slave songs. They were created by people who are uncredited. You know, so anyway, that's that part of the show today. So I just wanted to say thank you for listening to that. I'm going to play some music now. Finish out the hour with playing some original songs and also maybe a few covers so that you're not just completely in the dark as to what I'm doing up here. All right. So, do something you know. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, boyfriend too. It's a long day, living in Reseda, there's the freeway, running through the yard. I'm a bad boy, just don't even miss her. Yeah, I'm a bad boy, breaking her heart That I'm free, free falling, falling. I'm free, free falling, falling. All the vampires living in the back. Move west down Ventura Boulevard. Bad boys standing in the shadows while the good girls home with broken hearts. And I'm free, free falling, falling. I'm free, free falling, falling. Free falling, free falling, yeah. Free falling, well I'm free falling, yeah. Free falling, well I'm free falling. Free falling, yeah, free falling. Gliding over Mulholland, I'm gonna write her name in the sky. I'm gonna free fall out in the nothing. Gonna leave this world behind, and I'm free, free falling, falling. I'm free, free falling, falling. Free falling, free falling, free falling. Well, I'm free falling, yeah. Free falling, free falling, free falling. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. By the way, I do have merch. Got some a few CDs and some T-shirts. And my banjo, when I bought it, the company that makes it down in Asheville, they decided to call the model that I bought the possum. And it got me to thinking about my daughter's a designer and for Pepsi. And I said, can you design me a possum? And so my T-shirt has possums on it. So it's random, but I love it because they're cute and pretty harmless, I think. And they eat ticks, which is a good thing. So I'm recording this new album, and I'm real excited because I've got some real professional guys playing on it, like Alanis Morissette. You familiar with Alanis Morissette? Her drummer is playing on the album, and I'm so excited. Ben Folds, I don't know if you know Ben Folds 5. He had a hit several years ago. Anyway, he's a bass player. So I'm excited. Got some real good players on there. And so this is one of the songs. My sweetheart left town to go on a trip, and I ended up writing this song. Well, I turned on the television, and I turned it on. Paced around the kitchen, went out for a walk. Ended up downtown, I stopped at the coffee shop. Didn't need the caffeine, besides it was rather hot. What do you do when your sweetheart's out of town? Oh, you just wander around. Tried to read a novel, I got a little annoyed by the main protagonist created by Conroy. So I opened up my notebook, started writing a song. I didn't think I'd miss her quite this much, but I was wrong. Yeah, what do you do when you're feeling kind of down? And there's not too much fun to be found. Oh, what do you do when your sweetheart's out of town? Oh, you just wander around. I'd like to think I'm an island in the sea. Don't need anybody but me. But I'm not a cowboy riding into the sun. Maybe it's okay to need someone. No matter the distraction, she was on my mind. Way off in Alaska while I'm in Carolina. I wanted to talk to her, but no service for her phone. Packed up my things and headed back home. What do you do when you're feeling kind of down? There's not too much fun to be found. Yeah, what do you do when your sweetheart's out of town? Ah, you just wander around. No fun to be found. Yeah, you just wander around. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So this next song is already, it's on an album. It's actually on the one that I've got for sale here. And you can find it on Spotify and YouTube, and all those other streaming services. And if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever moved away from where you were living and then you go back and you drive by that house, and you think, oh my gosh, so much happened there. And that's what happened with me. I went back to my childhood home one day, and it just like flooded me with all these things that happened. And so there's a little bit of a history stuff in there too, because I'm old guy and I went through a bunch of stuff. The 60s, for example. I was a child in this neighborhood. Well, I left town as soon as I could. Sometimes you have to go back again and sort through memories of where you've been. Went down Ogburn Avenue, hardly recognized the view. Everything looked a little small, so many memories I can't count them all. Looked across from my junior high. I walked to school and I didn't cry. I like my teachers and they like me. I did what I was supposed to, a little less of me. Stand on that porch when my brother said, did you hear that President John is dead? I didn't believe it, because I like to smile. I didn't know why, I was just a child. We watched Ed Sullivan bring on a band. With bushy hair sing, I wanna hold your hand. So this is the place I started growing up. I ate that little wafer and I drank from that cup. I listened to my daddy preach about Calvary, and I heard Dr. King talk about being free. Every night before I went to bed, I prayed that no more soldiers would be dead. I went down Auburn Avenue, I hardly recognized the view. Everything changes by degrees, but all those years came back to me. All those years, they were staring at me. And everything that I've said and done is based upon where I came from. Everything looks smaller than before. Well, I guess I'm not a child anymore. Went down Auburn Avenue, I hardly recognize the view. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I've got a new one on the album that's also about another house. This is crazy. I didn't put that together until one day we were in the studio and I went, oh, wait, I've already written a song about a house. But that's okay. Just got to thinking about the house where my kids were growing up. So, and I'm real excited. This is going to be released later this summer. I'm releasing a single in May, which is right around the corner. And then this is probably going to be by June. I don't know. It may just be on the album. I don't know. But you can keep up with me on Instagram, Kenny Shore Music. And I also have a website, kennyshore.com. So this is where we raised our kids, sitting on this porch. It was all so rich. I loved all of it, just the way it was. Wasn't enough when we moved away. I'll never understand why we didn't stay, because we had everything we needed. You could think of how we painted it yellow, we painted it green. Didn't really matter, we could have just let it be. It was positively perfect, just the way it was. Kids ran in the yard, made up games. Could have stayed there forever, it would have been all the same, because we had everything we needed. We had everything we needed that you could think of. We buried that old cat in the late afternoon light. Somehow leaving it here just didn't feel right. So whatever happened to the vision that we had? Can't think about it because it only makes me angry and sad. When my baby daughter's birthday in this old backyard, and when that tree hit the ground so hard, we had so many memories you can think of. And the neighbors with their chainsaws one Saturday morning, we didn't have to call them, it's like they were raised in a barn. Everything we needed. It was a great old house and I love it still. We lived there forever, that's just how I feel. We had everything we needed. We had everything we needed that you could think of. Yeah, we had everything we needed. Was this old house? It's full of love. Thank you. Thank you so much. As are most of my songs. That's a true story. It's like somebody was asking me about it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I just kind of bare my soul up here. Tell all my stuff. I give everybody all my personal information. So, yeah. All right. I'll do another cover just for fun. Hopefully you know this one. Whoops. Hey, where did we go? Days where the rains came. Down in the hollow, playing a new game. Laughing and running, hey, hey. Skipping and a jumping. In the misty morning fall, with our hearts are thumping in you. A brown-eyed girl. You are a brown-eyed girl. Whatever happened, Tuesday it's so slow. Going down to the old mine with a transistor radio. Standing in the sunlight laughing, high by the rainbow's wall, slipping and a sliding all along the waterfall with you. You my brown-eyed girl. You remember when we used to sing sha la 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 la, just like that. Sha la 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 la. So I just find my way now that I'm on my own. Saw you just the other day. Now you had grown. Cast my memory back there long. Sometimes I find myself thinking about making love in the green grass. Behind the steady, I'm with you. Brown-eyed girl. You my brown-eyed girl. You remember when we used to sing sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. Just the women. I'm kidding. Sometimes that's a sing-along song. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah, the folks on the front row just need to take a step back. Security, is asked. Oh, man. Yeah. I played in Greensboro once. I was living in Raleigh, and it's like 2 hours, an hour and a half. Drove to Greensboro, and nobody showed up. And the guy said, "Here's $5 for your gas." What am I doing wrong here? It's a wonder I kept playing after that. So this next song is going to be on the album, and I'm really excited. It's got a Hammond organ and a baritone sax, and it's really something. So it's called "Put Yourself in My Shoes," and I actually am putting myself in someone else's shoes when I wrote it, because it was an old girlfriend. And I just felt so bad. I had to break up with her. It was just the sweetest person, just really, really. But I just knew it wasn't right. And so I tried to think about how she felt. And I don't think she knows that this song is about her. So. I'm guessing that for you it was all a little game. But you forgot to read me any of the rules. So what do I do with all of this pain? And what do I do with you and these blues? You were so intent on trying to convince me that our love was higher than the whole damn sky. Then out of the abyss, you just dismissed me. And now it cuts me like a complicated lie. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute. Maybe you'll find just how it feels. Maybe it'll seem just a little schizophrenic, 'cause you don't really recognize my pain is real. Put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself in my shoes. Living your life like it's all a little comedy. Now you've made a tragedy out of mine. Can you feel what your little fun has done to me? I wish I could grieve and leave it all behind. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute. Put yourself in my shoes for a while. Maybe it'll seem just a little schizophrenic. Maybe it'll seem just a little wild. Yeah, put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself in my shoes. I was all set long before I met you, and you overwhelmed me like a whirlwind. You were pursuing me and thinking you were true to me. Then you say you gotta walk away in the end. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute. Put yourself in my shoes for a while. Maybe it'll seem just a little schizophrenic. Maybe it'll seem a little wild. Whoa, put yourself in my shoes. 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 Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I look forward to sharing that with the world later this summer. It's been... So this is an old, I'm gonna do an old blues song that really doesn't sound like a blues. Okay. Make me down a pallet on your floor. Yeah, make me down a pallet on your floor. Honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Then maybe my good gal, she won't know. Well, going up the country through the sleet and snow. Yeah, going up the country through the sleet and snow. Going up the country through the sleet and snow. There ain't no telling just how far I'll go. Get my breakfast here, my dinner in Tennessee. Yeah, my breakfast here, my dinner in Tennessee. Breakfast here and my dinner in Tennessee. Well, I told you I was gonna, you better look for me. Yeah, make me down a pallet on your floor. Yeah, make me down a pallet on your floor. Honey, make it down, make it soft and low. And maybe my good gal, she won't know. Now, honey, I can't lay down on your bed. You know that I can't lay down on your bed. No, I can't lay across that pretty bed. 'Cause my good woman, she might shoot me dead. Now, don't you let my good gal catch you here. Well, don't you let my good gal catch you here. Do she might shoot you, but just come to ain't no telling just right she might do. Yeah, bring me down a pallet on your floor. Yeah, make me down a pallet on your floor. Gonna make it down, make it soft and low. And maybe my good gal, she won't know. Now the way I've been sleeping, my back and shoulders tired. Yeah, the way We've been sleeping my back and shoulders tired. We've been sleeping my back and shoulders tired. I think I'm gonna try to overdrive, sleeping on my side. Yeah, make me down. Oh, make me down. Honey, make it down, make it soft and low. Baby, my good gal, she won't know. Thank you so much. I do a song off the last CD that I put out. It's called Live in the Sun. And the gal I wrote this for thought it was a little too bluegrassy for her taste. And I said, but you know, it's a great song, but it's fun, and I'm gonna do it. So what I would do is when I would perform, I would say, hey, this song is about this gal right here. Just embarrass it today like that. She was just like, oh no. So I woke up one morning with this song in my head. Just those are the best ones. Well, I got a gal as pretty as a peach. I'm gonna take her down to Curie Beach. She loves it there and I love her so. Every time I see her, I let her know. She's about sweet as homemade pie. I couldn't get enough of her if I tried. Every time I leave, I have to cry. I can't get enough of that homemade pie. Well, now I could kiss her all day long, but she likes to hear me sing a song. And I sing Moon River every now and again, cause she's my huckleberry friend. She's as sweet as homemade pie. I couldn't get enough of her if I try. Every time I leave, I have to cry. I can't get enough of that homemade pie. Now while she's cooking me scrambled eggs, I like looking at her pretty legs. Look at her legs for the rest of my life. I'm gonna make that gal my wife. She's about sweet as homemade pie. I couldn't get enough of her if I try. Every time I leave, I have to cry. I can't get enough of that homemade pie. Sweet as homemade pie, couldn't get enough of her if I try. Every time I leave, I have to cry. Can't get enough of that homemade pie. My old gal lives near Old Salem. I write her letters, but I never mail them. I don't have to, cause she reads my mind and makes her happy every time. She's about sweet as homemade pie, couldn't get enough of her if I try. Every time I leave, I have to cry. Can't get enough of that homemade pie. She's about as sweet as homemade pie. Can't get enough of her if I try. Every time I leave, I have to cry. Can't get enough of that homemade pie. Can't get enough of that homemade pie. Can't get enough of that homemade pie. Thank you, thank you. Again, a true story. So I got to see Cat Stevens in Boston just a few years ago. And, he's now called Yusuf Islam. And but he's still sort of sometimes calls himself Cat because people don't know who Yusuf Islam is and they know who Cat Stevens is. So he's still got it. He's still got a great voice and a good guitar player and storyteller. He made the whole stage like his home, like his childhood room. And it was really neat. I gotta get a glass of water. So I'm gonna do a cat song. La 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 Now that I've lost everything to you, say you wanna start something new. It's breaking my heart, you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving. If you wanna leave, take good care. If you've got a lot of nice things to wear, then a lot of nice things to wear out there. baby, it's a wild world. Hard to get by just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Always remember you like a child, girl. Know I've seen a lot of what the world can do. It's breaking my heart in two, 'cause I never want to see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl. If you want to leave, take good care. Hope you got a lot of nice friends out there. Just remember there's a lot of bad everywhere. Yeah. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Hard to get by just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Always remember you like a child, girl. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baby, I love you. If you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you got a lot of nice things to wear. And a lot of nice things to wear. Yeah. Ooh, baby, it's a wild world. Hard to get by just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, it's a wild. Always remember you like a child, girl. I got time for a couple more songs. I just went down to Louisiana. I'm a big fan of Cajun and Zydeco music, and went down and got to hear some of the best at that. And so the next time I come here, I may have an accordion. You just never know. So if I could sync up a song to that, that'd be Oh, there's two of them. Good, because we need both of them. So, yeah. So I was in a Zydeco band, and I played the rub board. It looks like a washboard kind of, and or a catcher's protector, chest protector in baseball, but except it's metal. And so I had to play that thing all night long at these 3-hour gigs, and my shoulders would just kill me, you know. And I said, I got to write this band a song so I can play guitar on one song. And so they did. And I just recently went to Baton Rouge, and this song mentions Baton Rouge, and I got to sing it in Baton Rouge, and the people loved it. They were like, "Yeah, thanks." And so it's kind of a celebration of all these different towns in Louisiana, and just had a lot of fun with it. And there's also some audience precipitation on this if you want to sing along, and you'll know where it comes. So. Gonna fly a plane, oh, punch a train, just you and me, head down to Metairie. Gonna sing the blues down in Baton Rouge, just me and Susanna down in Louisiana. Well, I'm not lying, it's crossed my mind more than once or twice. Crawfish, etouffee, red beans and rice. Now let's not quarrel, let's head to Lake Charles. We'll know what to do down on the old bayou. Maybe fly a jet down to Lafayette. Just me and Susanna down in Louisiana. It's fine. Cajun yell is aye. If you need a recipe for happiness every day, chicory in your coffee, powder on your beignet. Come on, let's go. Here's some Zydeco. Well, act such a fool down in Ponchatoula. Get there by any means. End up in New Orleans. Put on your bandana down in Louisiana. It's fine. We'll meet on Bourbon Street and let the band begin. If we're lucky, they'll start plugging when the saints go marching in. Gonna fly a plane, that's your hint. We'll get there by any means. Up in New Orleans, yeah, when we get there, head to Jackson Square. Put on your bandana, down in Louisiana. We'll meet on Bourbon Street and let the band begin. If we're lucky, they'll start plugging when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be in that number when the saints go marching in. Gonna fly a plane over Poncha train. We'll get there by any means. And up in New Orleans, yeah, when we get there, head to Jackson Square. Put on your bandana, down in Louisiana. We'll go to Texarkana, and up in Louisiana. Eat plantains and bananas, down in Louisiana. All right, well, it's about 1:30. We got time for one more, or we back? We're good. We're good.
We're good.
All right, that's a good one to end on. Thank y'all so much. I am going to buy an accordion, and I'll be back.